Guys, today's another day as usual, and I hope that many of you are enjoying yourself, having a great time off work. To as many of you who are working, and yeah, I hope that many of you really are having a great time at work as well. Because yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy working and having spare time to yourself. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to also find out how you all are doing, whether if you guys are doing great, and yeah, and what your week has been. So so we're going to talk about a brand new topic. But before we start, I'm just going to wait for as many of you to come on so that you can settle in and just relax while I'm waiting. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go through my notes while I'm waiting for as many of you to come on. Oh, okay. So yeah, I believe we can start, but first, I'm just gonna wait a little bit more. Oh, okay. Now, okay, we can start because I was just gonna say that I'll wait a little bit because sometimes it will just cut off and then come back on. Hi, Harry. How are you doing? Thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate. So yeah, okay, okay. I was just about to say. So yes, so I believe we can start now. Today we are going to be looking at the keys to a successful marriage. So that's the topic that we're going to be talking about. Once again, is the keys to successful marriage. So I hope that many of you have your either have a pen and paper, or you have your iPad or laptop, so that so that you guys can take notes, because this is very, very important to know. So yeah, so I believe we can start now. So yes, right. Okay. So when you are caught up, when you're caught up in the excitement of your wedding, it can be hard to imagine that you and your spouse might not live happily ever after. But sharing your life with another person can be a challenge, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with your relationships. Marriages take work, commitment, and love, but they also need respect to be truly happy and successful. So we're going to look at the first one. So the first one, the first one, the first one is because for yeah, they kind of call it shall I say, kind of love at first sight. In most cases, some people fall in love quite easily. Some people it can take it can take years. Sometime it can take 1 year. Sometimes it may take 2 years. It may take 3 years, but it depends. But some people, they easily fall in love um, at the first sight, and then the arrangements, the preparation of the wedding, inviting as many people to the wedding, having the bridesmaids ready, the chief bridesmaid and everything. It can be a whole heap of stress. It can be a whole heap of stress at that first time. And then when you now have finished the wedding, and you now go into the next phase of the wedding, and then you go for your honeymoon and everything, and from there then you now live your life, and to get to know one another more, start living together, and plan on settling down properly, having children. Or if you're not ready at the time to have children, that you and your spouse decides that you want to go into a business, and to yeah a business, maybe just work a little more before deciding to have children. Is not easy, because as time goes. Oh, this is how the story goes. Yeah, you're right. Hi, Sopex. Yeah, you're definitely right. And then as time goes on, that's where each other's characters now comes in. When you first met that lady. Hi, Darcy. How are you? Thank you for coming on. Oh, okay, sure, that's fine. Um, and then when you as time goes on. Oh, okay, that's great. As time goes on, I'm great, thank you. Each of both your characters will come in, just like when you first met the woman of your dreams. You didn't at first you didn't see the character of yeah at first you didn't see the character of the lady, the lady that you fell in love with, because because we as ladies, we have our characters. We have our good characters, we have our bad characters. And this is often what happens. And at that very time, the guy did not even notice. Okay, at that time, the guy did not notice that the woman has certain bad characters. And then into their marriage life, he now starts to notice that, that, for example, the woman. Oh, okay. For example, that woman likes leaving her underwear scattered in the bathroom, like practically tossing her underwear everywhere around the house. Or maybe she likes kind of like using the shower, and she doesn't kind of wash it down after. Those, I mean, like those kind of habits that the guy did not notice at that very time, and then he now suddenly noticed. Oh, okay. So it's not easy, really. It's not easy to get into the marriage. Oh, okay. It's not easy, yeah, to get into the marriage, and continue getting to oh, okay, getting to know one another, the good sides and the bad sides. And yeah, practically it's not easy at all. It's not easy because definitely now you are married. Now you are married to the woman of your dreams. You you have no choice now to endure the both the good habits and the bad habits. You have no choice because you have decided to commit to the woman of your dreams for the rest of your life. So and just that after you've said the vows and everything through sickness and in health and till death do us part. So you've already said your vows and you've committed to one another that look, you guys have decided that you want to stay with each other for the rest of your life. So now you guys have now decided to commit to your marriage. So it's kind of now all about understanding each other, is now all about understanding each other, knowing what your wife likes, knowing what your husband likes. So it's that's how it starts. It's kind of getting to know what each of you like and and each of you don't like. Okay, was you talking about what I think you were talking about? What's that, to be honest, Darcy? What is that you're saying? Because I don't kind of understand. Oh, you're laughing. So now so really to in order to be happy and to have a successful marriage, it is kind of about understanding each other, understanding what understanding what each both of you likes. That's one. That is one of it. Now the next one is that a marriage based on love and respect doesn't just happen. So that doesn't just happen overnight. It's a gradual process. So now both spouses have to do their part. So now below are some keys to work on each day to make your marriage successful. Oh, okay, that's fine. So this is kind of is a gradual process. Is a gradual process. Um, having knowing what each of you likes, respecting each other, respecting what each of you like and what each of you dislikes. So respecting each other and making sure that you kind of avoid kind of getting into too much of arguments. Yeah, every now and again, not every day, but every now and again, yeah, is quite normal. It's quite normal to kind of get into arguments over things that is even most of the things that couples kind of get into argument is either is either to do with the kids, or either maybe like a bill, for example, that was supposed to be paid, and the husband mistakenly forgot to pay that bill on time, simply because he himself has been so busy, caught up on in his work, that he's working back to back, Monday to Sunday, without no rest. And all he's thinking about is the report that he was asked in the office to write up. And he's thinking that, oh, how am I gonna write this report, because this report, it needs to be put on my boss's table first thing Monday morning. So that is what is all on his mind. He is thinking, how is he going to get that report on his boss's table? So that's kind of really what is on his mind. So he's forgotten that, oh, that I need to pay this phone bill or cancel tax, and yet yeah, that the phone bill, they're constantly calling saying that, oh, Mr. David, you're you have an overdue balance of £200, and yet you are yet to pay that bill. That what's happening, and then constant letters being sent and being posted, even again reminding Mr. David that, oh, that you have a bill of £200 and you need to pay it, because if you don't pay it, then your line is going to be restricted or it will be cut off. And even the same thing with the council tax, and this kind of thing that always happens, that you get a letter, from the council saying that, oh, that you're owing 400 and something to 500 worth of council tax, and it needs to be paid by 7 days. So it can be these kind of things are quite stressful, and these kind of things can lead to an argument. It can lead to an argument, and it's something that you'll be practically bickering and fighting, like practically maybe once or twice in a week, or maybe nearly even every day. And it is also something that you and your wife will end up turning to arch enemies, simply because the the phone bill or the council tax hasn't been paid. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Because even what some couples do is that, because both of them are so busy that they rarely even have time for themselves. When the wife is off, that's when the husband is at work, or when the husband is off, that's when the wife is at work. So they rarely even have time for themselves, let alone the kids. That's if the kids are involved. So what some couples do is that they have to down everything they have to write down everything that they know that needs to be paid off. Then what even some of them do is that they either have a calendar on their fridge or on the wall, and to remind themselves that, look, that they have to pay this phone bill on a certain day or certain month. And they make sure that they quickly pay that bill. Or they also put a reminder note on their phone as well, and make sure that when it comes to that day, that the reminder has gone off, and they know that, oh, that they need to pay their bill. So either they'll do a bank transfer or call in and make the payment over the phone, so at least that way there will not be any issues again. So now, so now we're gonna look at the key steps. So the first one is to communicate clearly and often. So talking with your spouse is one of the best ways to keep your marriage healthy and successful. Be honest about what you're feeling, but be kind and respectful when you communicate. So you see, this is one of the keys. Constantly talking to your spouse, even though that both you and your spouse, or should I say your wife, even though that both of you are very, very busy and you have a tight schedule, at least is quite good to find time, like when you come back from work, even if it's just 30 minutes or an hour, to sit down and discuss, find out how your wife's day was, how was work and everything. And um and also um and yeah and also kind of plan the next step of what the husband and the wife wants to do during the week. And at the same time as well, at the same time as well is good, is kind of good to be like to be open and to yeah, and to be open to each other and express your feelings. Now if your wife has kind of offended you, or if your husband has kind of offended you and said something to you that you don't like, at least you should be open and say to your husband that, oh honey, that I'm not really kind of happy at what you just said, because that really really hurt my feelings, and I'm not really happy. And at least by you telling your husband that, that you that your that your husband has offended you in a way that he himself didn't even know, then at least he will now know that, oh, okay, that I've offended my wife, and then he just apologized on the spot, and apologize to her, say that, that, darling, I'm very sorry that I didn't know that what I said actually hurt your feelings, and what was the next way forward, so that we can continue with our marriage and be very very happy, because I don't want us to be constantly fighting all the time. So now the next one is part of good communication is being a good listener, and talking and taking the time to understand what your spouse wants and needs from you. Keep the line of communication open by talking often, and not just about things like bills and the kids. Share your thoughts and your feelings. See, you see, when communicating with your wife. Hi Remy, how are you? Thank you for coming on. So when communicating with each other, or communicating with your wife or your husband, the best thing also is to listen to what it is that your husband or your wife is saying. So it's kind of good to listen to each other and know what both of you want and what both of you don't want. So the key is always listening to one another and know what each of you wants. So it's not kind of necessarily about always about the bills and the kids as well, but it's also about knowing what each of you wants, and how each both of you can kind of also have time for yourselves as well, and to kind of have fun as well. Sometimes it's even good to take your wife out. Oh, okay. Yeah, Remy, so what we're talking about is the keys to a successful marriage. So I hope that that's answered your question. So yeah, so back to what I'm saying. Sometimes it's good to take your wife out, even or even like kind of surprise your wife, take her out. Oh, okay. So it's good to surprise your wife and to take her out, because after a long shift that she's had, and she's decided that she wants to take off to relax, because it's not really easy, it's not really easy at all, working back to back. Or if, like, for example, if the wife is kind of working 4 days in a row, and the husband is working like six days in a row, 6 days or 7 days actually in a row, and I've not rested at all. And the husband has decided that, look, that I actually need to take off, because even what some of them do, what some of them do, instead of instead of instead of them to tell their boss that, that is the reason why they actually want to take off, what some of them do, which is quite bad. What some of them do is that the husband will call in, and the husband will call in and tell a white lie to the boss that, oh, um, I've I've caught a flu. Even some of them will say they've caught coronavirus, and then that, and then what he will now do, what the man will now do, he'll be, as he's talking, he's coughing. He'll be coughing. That thing is quite bad. He will cough as he's talking to his boss, kind of making it real, making the whole thing real. He'll be coughing over the phone while he's talking to his boss, telling his boss that, look, that please, that, and like, I need to self isolate for 7 days, so that so that I can be 100% better. And the boss will be the boss. The boss will actually foolishly go and, okay, the boss will now kind of be so into, he will kind of be so into um believing what his worker is saying. And instead of the boss to actually investigate to find out whether if what he's saying is actually true or not, he won't. He'll say to his staff that, okay, that's fine. Do take as much time as you need off, but please, immediately you get immediately that you are a lot better, please, either you can call me, or send in an email to say that, oh, that you're fit enough to come back to work. So that is what the husband will do, just so that he can have that 7 days off. I mean, I don't blame the husband. I don't blame him, but he done it in the wrong way. He done it in the wrong way, fooling his boss, making his boss to think that he has a flu or he has corona, just so that he can escape from work for 7 days. Okay, are you getting off? So that way, that's when the husband will now be free. He'll be free to be able to take his wife out, and to, yeah, and to surprise her. But bearing in mind, he needs to be very, very careful so that his boss does not catch him. That's where. Okay, because I just got that. Oh, okay. No, no, no. I'm not. No, I'm not coming. No, I'm not coming off as yet. So don't worry about that. Um, yeah, so bearing in mind, the husband needs to be very, very careful to make sure that his boss does not catch him. So he needs to make sure that when he's taking his wife out, he needs to take his wife far, far, far away, where his boss will not catch him. Because the day that his boss catches him, he will have to he will have to explain or write a little report saying why he actually told a white lie that he has a flu or has corona, when he's physically 100% okay. So that's one of the downsides to that. So now, at the same time, it's good to also share your thoughts. And yeah, share your thoughts between yourself and your husband, and to know what you and your what you both want to do, maybe during the week, or maybe during the week, or the like maybe next month. And yeah, it's just kind of good to share your thoughts and your ideas of what next that you would like to do. That's also very, very important. A good way of a good way of communicating with your wife. So now the next one, the next one is tell your spouse that you're thankful for having them in your life. So by appreciating each other, your relationship, your family, and your lives together, show gratitude when your partner cooks dinner, helps the kids with their homework, or does the grocery shopping. It may help to take a few minutes each evening to tell each other at least one thing you appreciated that day. Okay, are you tired? Because yeah. No, don't worry about that. That one is just my normal color, so don't worry about that. Thank you. So one of the things is, which is very good, to always appreciate your is always good to appreciate your wife, or to appreciate your husband every time, because it's not easy to share a joint responsibility. It's not easy. And also at the same time thinking about each of your families, knowing how they're doing, or if they have like if they maybe kind of need anything, and you'll be so worried whether if they have everything they need. So it's good. It is very, very good to always appreciate your wife. Always appreciate your wife in helping, being very supportive, and helping you to join to do a joint responsibility, like picking up the kids from school, coming home with them, helping them with their homework, also finding out how their day was, or if there's any other thing that they need help with, and also helping around with the grocery shopping, also writing a list of the next monthly shopping that needs to be done. Also picking up the mail from the letterbox, or kind of having practically quality time with the kids as well is not easy. It's not easy. So it's very, very important to make sure that you appreciate your wife, and even the same thing in the wife as well, to also appreciate the husband in also sharing this joint responsibility with you. It's very, very important, because at least both the wife and the husband will really, really feel appreciated, and it will actually make both of the spouse to know that, that they are doing the joint responsibility together. So now the next one is make time for you. So make time for you two as a couple. Now, with work and family responsibilities, it can be easy to lose the relationship factor. Plan a special dates, either to go out or just stay at home. If you have children, spend time with them, as in a play dates, or decide, like, practically decide what you want to do with the kids. Talk and enjoy each other's company. In some marriages, most of the couples, they are more kind of occupied with their children, because their the children are obviously their joy. Their children makes them laugh all the time. Their children they But at the same time the children can be quite naughty, especially when it comes to twins, especially when it comes to twin boys and girls as well. That's where that is where that's where the trouble starts, especially again when you're a twin, and the first twin is innocent and hasn't done anything, and then the second twin is the naughty one, and is always causing trouble all the time, and then that very one, the first one that hasn't done anything at all, will now be the one to get the blame for what he knows nothing about. And then the mum or the dad will be screaming at the innocent one that doesn't know anything. And yet the trouble one will always get away with whatever it is that he's doing, and always making sure that he gets his twin into trouble. And yet the naughty one is the one that knows very well that he is the one that is the naughty one. But what some of them do, some of them also protect themselves as well. Kind of just like where they're sacrificing themselves, they know that the good one doesn't do anything wrong, and yet the parents are the one that is the parents will scrutinize the innocent one that doesn't know anything, and allow the bad one to get away with it. But these kind of things that it's quite normal. It's very normal. It's very normal when it comes to the kids, and even sometimes it can kind of lead to an argument with the kids, and the kids will be doing their own thing, and screaming and shouting while the parents are screaming and shouting at themselves. So it's kind of is really kind of like a house on fire, really. But one thing that is very important is to always is to kind of always take things easy. Take things easy with your wife or your husband or both of you. It's good to take it easy. Sometimes take your wife out, somewhere, or you can even take your wife and your kids out somewhere, just to find somewhere and relax, or like or find or like a play date. You can meet up with other couples who has children as well, and go on a play date with them, and just go with them wherever they're going to, and just enjoy the play date and have fun. So by the time you've had your play date and had a lot of fun, then you know that the next thing is to go and pick up the youngest child from school, and then all of you will go home together, after being out the whole day. Go home together and then relax. Either if you decide that you want to have your dinner, or you don't even want to eat at all, or sometimes you can just order in, and have a takeaway, and so on and so forth, or just have a shower and go straight to bed as well. Because sometimes after having the play date, you'll be so exhausted, because you've been out all day, and you are really tired, and sometimes you can't even be bothered to even eat anything as well. So the next one is to plan for something personal. So plan for some personal time. So alone time is just as important as a couple. Everyone needs time to recharge, think, and enjoy personal interest. That time is often lost where you're married, especially if you have kids. Go out with your friends, take a class, or do voluntary work. Whatever you find enriching when you're back together with your spouse, you'll appreciate each other even more. So you see, but also in your marriage, sometimes it's kind of is good to be away from your husband, or it's good to be away from your wife. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's quite good to miss each other for maybe a couple of hours or for the whole day, because being together all the time, you kind of, you guys will kind of end up having an argument or end up tossing things around the house. So sometimes it's good to meet up with your friends. Sometimes it's good to meet up with your friends, um, or enroll for maybe arts and crafts classes, or maybe if you want to meet up with other parents, that is hosting like a parenting class kind of thing, or maybe if you decide that you want to do voluntary work, practically anything that will keep you busy away from your husband for maybe a couple of hours or for the whole day. So it's kind of good that you miss yourself for some time. I mean, don't get me wrong, is yeah, it's good to be with your husband. But when you want to have alone time, is quite good. It's quite good to miss yourself for some time. And then when you're ready, you both come home, and be happy, and either jump on each other or hug each other, and say, oh darling, or honey, I really missed you. I really missed you so much. How's your day been, and did you enjoy yourself, that kind of thing. And then you guys can just kind of you guys can kind of catch up, and to yeah, and to talk about what you both did, while you both were away from each other. And again, is also very, very good at the same time to appreciate one another. That's also very good. All the time, appreciate one another. Now, the next one, understand that it's okay to disagree. You won't agree on everything, but it's important to be fair and respectful during disagreements. Listen to your spouse's point of view. Try not to get angry, and do not let yourself be too frustrated. Walk away and calm down if you need to do so. Then discuss the problem again when you're both in a better frame of mind. Compromise on the problems so that you both give a little. So it is in marriage. In marriage, it's quite okay. It's quite okay to have a disagreement. Every now and again, arguments arises all the time. It arises all the time, but that's part of knowing each other. That's part of still getting to know each other, knowing and also at the same time knowing the your wife's weak point, or knowing your husband's weak point. But it's good. It is very, very good to at the same time to respect each other's point of view. So maybe if your wife has told you that, she doesn't like, maybe she doesn't like, for example, she doesn't um like a certain snack, like maybe peanuts. She doesn't like peanuts. And she's told you already that, look, that she has allergy to peanuts. And is like where you've forgotten that your wife has told you she has allergy to peanuts, and you keep on buying her peanuts. So it's just kind of like where you are not is like kind of where you are kind of disrespecting her a little bit, that and by buying that constant thing that she has already told you that she has allergy to. And this is part of where you and her that you and her have a disagreement, and you're constantly fighting all the time. And and then and then you and then the husband will be screaming and shouting that, oh, you didn't tell me. And your wife will also scream at you that, look, darling, I told you way before we got married that I have allergy to peanuts, and every time I eat peanuts, my face swells up. And then that will be where the husband will now recollect and remember that, oh, that yes, that the wife already told me that I have allergy to peanuts. And yeah, and just kind of little disagreements like that, it can, yeah, it's quite okay. It's okay to kind of have disagreements, but at the same time respect each other, understand each other's point of view. Is Yeah, it is also it's okay to have that little disagreement. And at the same time, if the argument is too heated, what some of the couples do, or either the wife or the husband do, is that they will actually they'll actually go into a quiet room and sit there and relax for either the rest of the evening or the rest of the day, and to just to relax and calm down before either the wife or the husband comes out, and decide that they want to talk about what just happened. And it's kind of good to kind of talk it's kind of good to talk about it with your it's kind of good to talk about it with your wife, and find out why why you and your wife actually argued. Because yeah, it kind of wasn't really necessary, but yeah, it's good to find out. It's good to find out from both sides where you both went wrong, and apologize to each other, and say that, oh, that Nia, darling, I'm very sorry. I completely forgot that you did tell me right from the start of our relationship that you have allergy to peanuts, and I'm really sorry, and that won't happen again. And then from there, they will they will be able to move forward. Now, the next one is to build trust. Criticism, concept, defensiveness, and stonewalling are serious threats to success of a marriage. The more a couple engages in these destructive activities, the more likely they may divorce. Studies indicate that spouses who stay together know how to disagree or argue without being hostile, and to take responsibility for their actions. They all they also more likely to respond quickly to each other's wishes, to make up after fighting and repair their relationship. So that's another one. Building trust is not easy. It's not easy, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to like a bad character that the wife always has. And also the wife herself knows that she has a bad character, and she's doing everything she can to work on it. Like maybe for example, if the wife the wife has uh, maybe was dating someone before she met her husband, and she kind of still has like little feelings for the ex-partner, and the husband has got to know about it, and then the husband kind of no longer trusts the wife, because the husband feels that the wife is always going to her ex-partner, to have like have an affair, and all that kind of thing. It's not easy, because temptation always is in the marriage, especially if you're Christian as well, and as many of you that believe in God, yeah, especially there is always temptation in the marriage. And it is something that, is not like something that is not quite, is not normal. But what some people don't seem to understand is that is a spiritual thing. And even the couple themselves won't even know that what they're passing through is not a normal thing. And that's where the prayers has to come in. That's where it's good that when it comes to husband and wife, because every single time temptation comes into the marriage, temptation and trials come into the marriage all the time. And that's why as Christians it's quite good to always pray, always pray a lot, and to make sure that you always commit your marriage to God all the time. because it the because the marriage itself is a rocky road. It's a rocky road, and both the husband and wife, they will mistakenly go and end up doing something that they're not really meant to do. And when they now later realize what they've done, it has kind of it's kind of broken down the husband, or is broken down the wife, and the husband will kind of no longer have that trust for the wife again. And then the wife will no longer has trust for her husband, because she also will feel they both of them will feel insecure, and they feel that both of them is always going out and cheating on each other. So it's kind of good as well to always commit your marriage to God, to as many of you again who are Christians and believe in God. So that's one of the things that also will help with a successful marriage. Then the last but not the least is to learn to forgive. Everyone makes mistakes. Your spouse may hurt your feelings or do something that upsets you, and that may make you angry, even furious. But it is important to deal with your feelings. Let them go and move on. Don't keep bringing up the past. That's yeah, you see, this is another one which is very, very important and will help with a successful marriage. Every like I said yesterday, and I specifically said yesterday, we are all human beings. We are all human beings, and we are bound to make mistakes. We're bound to make mistakes all the time. In fact, each and every one of us, we were conceived. We were conceived by a woman. We were born to make mistakes. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it's unfortunate that we are the ones suffering for the mistakes that our parents did when they were much younger. So now the mistakes of our parents is now hovering over us. And we don't even know anything. We don't know anything of what our parents did when they were young. We are the ones that are suffering it now. So so again, we are bound to make mistakes a lot. We are bound to make mistakes a lot. And that's where as a married couple, it's kind of good is, especially the wife, is kind of good to acknowledge that, for the wife, it is good for the wife to acknowledge that she has done wrong, even though that is a million times that she's made that mistake, and even, and probably even made the worst mistake on earth, by probably by either meeting up with another man, and things like that. Even if it's the worst mistake on earth, that woman needs to acknowledge that she has done wrong. She's done wrong, and she has really, really offended her husband, and to try and kind of make peace with her husband, and to let the husband know that, look, that yes, I have made this mistake. And remember that I am not perfect, and I'm not above mistakes. I've made this mistake, and I am willing to work on my mistake. And um and I know that no amount of words that I've told you is not going to fix everything, but I'm really and truly sorry for what I've done, and I'm really doing everything I can to work on what I have done, and to apologize for what she has done. Then from there, it will it'll kind of help a little bit. And at the same time, it's quite helpful for the husband to not always bring up the past, because, again, we are not perfect. We both are not perfect. A lot of us has a lot of skeletons in our cupboard from our past life. And especially now that you're a couple, and you're doing everything you can to move forward, and to rebuild your relationship, is more better to not drag up the past. Is more better to not to drag up the past, especially when the wife knows that she has done something very, very wrong in the past, and she's trying to move forward and forget about it. So it's kind of ideal not to drag up the past. So now the next one is, remember to re- remember to remain committed to your spouse, your family, and the life that you have built together. Support each other emotionally, and in everyday ways. Your spouse, and your relationship may grow and change with time, but these ideas can help your marriage stay successful over the years. So you see, one of the things that is very good is to make sure to make sure that you stay committed to each other, and find ways to build your relationship, if possible. If it really gets to the breaking point that you and your wife or your spouse can't stand each other again, it's kind of good to seek professional advice. And at the same time, again, like I said, if you're a believer and you believe in God, is also good for both of you to commit the situation to God, and to pray about it, and ask God for guidance, and what can be done to amend your marriage, um, and to find out from God that what can be done. And at the same time, as you're committing it to God, at the same time to book for marriage counseling sessions or relationship specialist, and to have sessions with the specialist. And and then from there you just talk with the specialist, both of you talk with the specialist, and tell and then tell them how you started your relationship, and where your relationship went wrong, then and so on and so forth. And through there, what some of them do is that they give you, like, they'll give the couples activities. They'll give them activities of how their relationship started, and will probably even tell either the husband or the wife to write down all the best qualities of his wife, or even the same thing with the wife. The specialist will also tell her to write down all the qualities of her husband, of all the qualities of what they both found in themselves before they started dating, and then and decided to get into relationship, to and from relationship to marriage to marriage. So the specialist will also probably will either give you a DVD for you to watch a real life story of a couple that has been together for maybe 30 years or 50 years, and will tell you to watch it so that you can get a rough idea of how your relationship can be amended. Or she or he can even write out an action plan on the areas that you need to fix in your marriage. So is yeah various things that the specialist will tell you to do in order to repair your relationship, and practically your marriage. So anyway, guys, I hope that this has really been of great help to as many of you, and and I hope that as many of you who's passing through who's passing through like ups and downs in their marriage, I hope that is really really going to work. Things will work out for you, and you'll be able to repair whatever damage that has been caused in your marriages. And I wish you all success in your marriage. And please, I really really appreciate that you take these on board. And and if there's anything that you didn't understand, please send me a DM, and I'll be able to kind of go through with it, go through everything again. And God bless you all. And I will see you all later. But before I go, please don't fail to subscribe, comments, thumb up, to like me and share with your friends and your colleague, and as many people as you feel that will benefit from this. Once again, is your girl Adez. See you all soon. Bye.